What is going on, America? It is me. It is your What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yes, we're letting everybody stack in before we bring in my man Jordan. Excited, I'm pumped. This guy has done so much in such a short period of time. He has gone from a character, you know, in a series that kind of was playing the left or the right co-star, you know, and now he is, you know, a character. He is a super villain or not. What do we know? We'll find out. He's got a pilot coming up. It's going to be amazing. Give you guys a little background before I bring him in. Just because you guys are just piling and you're just starting to log in, I want to get everybody straight. You know, this brother is from Southern California. I mean, he was acting at a very young age. I mean, really young age. He was in ER. Okay, so anybody under 30, you may not know that show, but he was in ER. So he started real young. You know, he was in Unfabulous. He was you know, playing this character named Isaiah in Disconnected, another show from MTV back in the day. You know, he worked alongside Cuba Gooding. It was amazing. You know, and I see you. Whoa, don't you fall on me now. Okay, I'll hold that in place. And he's actually queued up. He's probably watching right now. So I'm just going to finish your bio before I bring you in, because I got a feeling we're going to start bantering, and I don't want to miss any of this formal stuff that gets to introduce you to everybody. You know, the brother was in Drumline. This is the MTV TV series. You know, he was in House of Lies, Pure Genius, Beyond. You know, the show called Freakish. He played this role of a character named Zane. You know, and you know, he has been another part of the WB family in a show called Riverdale, if you ever watched it. Right now, he's kind of between LA and Los Angeles. I mean, LA and Atlanta. And I think he's hitting us from the A right now, so we'll see. I'm going to give this quick intro to my man. His character is Khalil Payne. He's a young man ridden with guilt, his troubled past from his former life in Freeland City on the show that you know and love called Black Lightning. He was basically turned into a super enhanced killing machine known as Painkiller, where you know, he was working for you know, both Tobias and you know, he was working with Agent Odell. If you're watching the show, you know how bad both those brothers are. You know, he has since distanced himself away from everybody. He has left Freeland, and he is, you know, basically taken up residence in this place called Akashic Valley, excuse me. And, you know, he's trying to find peace. He's trying to find ways to reconcile his past deeds and kind of bring himself together. You know, he's got this really violent, destructive history, you know, and he's trying to find a new beginning. So he's basically trying to figure out a way to reconcile his power, reconcile his responsibilities. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy this conversation, because he is a true blurred. And I want you guys to welcome my man, Jordan Calloway. Jordan, are you there? Are you there? Come on, let me see if it comes up. I just invited him. Oh, there he is.
Whoa.
Oh, that's the guy I was talking about just a minute ago, and then he just showed up, and then I'm just like, what a coincidence. You know, I was just talking to the people. Man, you know how we do.
We just run out. You know, it happens like that. How you doing, brother?
Oh man, how are you doing, sir?
Man, I'm excited. I'm ready. You know, I'm ready for the fans to see it. I'm ready for everybody to be able to see the hard work that the whole cast and crew put in. We ready. Let's go, baby.
Listen. audience, I don't know if you've ever seen this brother in action, but when he says hard work, he is talking about hard work. This brother is jumping around and flipping like a flea on a hot brick, man. He is kicking and he's gonna be an action star. I'm putting this right here. It's official. You're gonna be an action star.
Man,
it's gonna happen.
I'm working in the shadows of Mike, man. Let Michael B. Jordan now, brother. I mean, I'm gonna gas that man up, brother. That time, yo, that's fire. You know what I'm saying?
yes, that's true. That's true. Now we get y'all two somehow on the screen together.
Hey, brother,
somehow.
Oh, now, shoot, write the check.
We're send my money to AMC right now. So, first of all, welcome to BlurredCon. This is the Black Nerd Convention. Where we just celebrate everything in Black nerd culture. This is coming up on our 5th year this summer here in DC. And I have been watching you, sir, for a while. Didn't want that to sound stalkerish because you are on TV.
Oh, no, worry, we got the fan pages for the stalkers. It's fine. I'll direct you to them.
Okay, there you go. Fan page, if you want to stalk, you're perfectly welcome. We welcome all people.
My mom's actually the one that's really running the majority of them, but it's okay. It's all right.
Fair enough. Got to let moms help the show out. So, what people may not know about you is that you are a true fan of the genre in which you are participating in.
All right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I've seen you doing interviews at like San Diego Comic-Con and other cons where you're doing the official star stuff, but you're looking over people's shoulder like, I gotta get to the let me get to the hall. Are we good? I gotta go. This is comic book. I gotta go get this statue.
I'm sure you probably know, but Lamont, like my big bro, because San Diego Comic-Con 2019 was my first time ever going, right? And he him also Malcolm Barrett, he's another big bro. He's doing the oh my gosh, there's so many biopics. He did Timeless, but he's another friend of mine. But fellow nerds, all big nerds and everything. And when I was out there for the Comic-Con, man, I was in heaven. It was like, I'm like a little kid in the candy store,
bro. Yes.
Like China was like, Jordan, pay attention. We got to move. Come on. I was like, huh? No, I love it.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds like China. I met her once in DC where they did this big, the premiere, and I could see her doing this right in your face, like, yo, Jordan.
She the responsible one. Right, exactly.
Exactly. She has been here before, as older Black people would say about a child coming in the world. This child had been here before. Old soul. Well, listen, I think we could banter back and forth for hours because like I said, I think we got a lot to talk about, and we're going to get to that. But I know that the audience is really interested in what's getting ready to happen on Monday. I don't think they're ready, but we're going to try and get them ready so that,
would it be fun if they were ready? We can't let them get ready. I mean, we just got to, Salim's not going to let them ever be ready.
No. Salim is going to keep you on your heels, and it's. I'm telling you. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of focus on some of the show questions first, and then we'll circle around to a little bit more of Jordan, because I think that a lot of you and this character are dovetailing in some really interesting ways, and I want to get to that. So I did, as you probably saw in the lead up, I was kind of letting people know about your character, in the introduction to the show, kind of where you are. Right. The funny thing that is going to stand out over this last episode that just passed, that just ended for Black Lightning, and this episode that's coming up, is that this is the first time that we are actually seeing Khalil again. Yes. Since he had morphed into the Painkiller. Right. The nice kid, an athlete, and, in love, and being a high school student to super assassin. So, this dark, this futuristic city that he's in, the separation that the character has put between himself and everything he's known and loved to try and find himself. Can you kind of bring everybody up to speed on where the character is?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got to keep in mind, we're finding Khalil, it's still a year after everything that transpired with the Markovians. So let's make sure. Oh, it's somebody's birthday. Hey, Che Butter, happy birthday! I just had to shout that out. I saw it, so I had to. But we're finding Khalil a year after, right? A year after everything that transpired with the Markovians. You know, Jin and him, they broke up based off of the fact that he has a kill order still implanted in his mind. That's what, right? And so what we're seeing is now Khalil and you could say Painkiller, but Khalil, he's in he's created his own world now. He's created his own family. With some of the characters that you're actually going to see come tomorrow with Filky and Cousin Donald, you know, and I don't want to give too much away, seeing that it's going to premiere tomorrow, but we're finding Khalil in his own world now, in his own environment. So you're seeing this young man that has created his own space. And that space isn't just the physical in Akashic Valley, which you guys will come to see tomorrow, which is beautiful, but you're also going to see his own space mentally. I think that's one of the things that Salim and Charles, the two writers, that they really wanted to explore and that we really want to dive and, you know, get into, which is the psyche. And we have a great opportunity as you see the tale of man versus himself. In this regards, Khalil versus so yeah, again, without giving too much away, but you know, giving y'all a little Costco sample, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a journey. It's leading up to what this journey may be, while also showing what he struggles with, what he's dealing with, and what he also has to overcome, not just in the world versus, you know, whatever the villain may be, but also versus himself with what he has to come to grips with.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, it's really, really stark. I mean, it is, you know, I mean, we're not giving a whole lot away, but, you know, this whole Fight Club, Tyler Durden, you know, talking to yourself.
That's exactly what I was going for, brother. Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, man. I said, as soon as I saw it, I said, oh, I see what he's doing here.
Brother,
and just watching that juxtaposition.
Like the rest of the season then too. You're gonna like the rest of the Black Light, because that's exactly what I was leaning into, brother. Oh, I'm so happy you said it. Yes.
Oh man. Well, look, anyone who's a true fan of the genre and the show and the comics and understand where you were going with that, it's like, again, as someone who saw the episode and not wanting to give anything away, wow, that is something that is going to be really play out like the dynamic that you're going to be doing with this character. And it's interesting because you kind of answered the next question, because in Freeland City, right? Yeah. Khalil's counterbalance, even as he's turning into Painkiller, right?
Right.
Has been, you know, his relationships with his mother, his girlfriend, you know, all this sort of stuff. And now that's gone. And now you are playing your own counterbalance. You are checking yourself on both ends in this really weird way. How did you make that decision to say, okay, this is a character that needs a little rib punch every now and then to kind of get back in line or focus on the moment? How am I going to do that for me without these other characters I'm playing with?
Right. No, you know, I think that's a great question. And I think, you know, part of it has to do with the identity that Khalil and Painkiller are coming to realize. Okay, so let's do a little recap, right? Here we have first season, who was the main influence in Khalil's life? That was Jefferson Pierce. That was the one he idolized. Come to the end of that season, going in second season, who gets his hold of him? Tobias. And we see how that led into the next thing, which is, oh, now he's been killed. And not only that, now he's being controlled by Agent Odell. Agent Odell really not giving Khalil an opportunity to choose, right? Because the first, we saw that choice. But now we see that fall from grace, what happens with Khalil, right? Now we're in the spot where third season, you have the manipulation that happened from Agent Odell, which leads us to this fourth season where we're finding him now free from that. And it's kind of like a kid that gets that freedom once they reach 18, once they become into an adulthood and they're learning At, like Khalil, he knows multiple martial arts. He's strong. He's, you know, he has many different abilities. And so now it's kind of like another infant, but with abilities and powers. So what we're seeing, Khalil being the adult to Painkiller. But, you know, I mean, there's all of that. And you saw the episode. There's all of the, you know, you could say teen angst where they go back and forth and they argue. So you could say Khalil's maybe more the adult versus the two of them. But to that, it also had to do with just the character development that was already done, and that, you know, I did for my own research in season one. And I think the main thing that grounds Khalil, or the thing that helps him, is where his foundation came from, which was his mother. We saw that in one where Khalil talking to Jen, and he tells her, like, this isn't the life you want to live. You know, my brother was killed when he was a teenager. My father was incarcerated. My mom's a single mother. You know what I'm saying? So all of these different things are life lessons that Khalil learned from, and that's called wisdom, because he's taken that and he's then utilized that to help progress him mentally, because mental fortitude is one of the key things that we'll see as a theme throughout Khalil's life, throughout Painkiller's life, within the psyche. So I say all of that because to answer your point, you know, one of the reasons why he does these things, or why he gets the place that he is because of the life lessons that he's learned before.
Deep. Okay.
Well,
I can totally see that.
Not deep, King is born. We're gonna board it out. Want to.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, man, the really interesting part of this, and again, we're dancing around the pieces of this that we don't want to do too much giving away, but we're actually seeing the humanization of Painkiller, even in this very first episode, in a way that we hadn't been before, showing remorse for having killed his own mother, where in the act there was nothing.
Well, that was scripted. That was after Salim and I had a conversation. We just talked about it, and, you know, we came to that understanding and agreed that, like, yeah, there should be. So I mean, that's just all of part of the creative, you know, process of it, and that's what's so great about it. That's why, you know, Salim, he offers that, he allows that level of creativity to happen if you know your characters well, you know, while staying true to the story and staying true to where the vision is to go. But yeah, it's true. You know, Painkiller, he shows a bit of vulnerability, and that in that is strength, you know, to be able to have that. But the thing about where he showed that, it was to show that to a certain someone that he trusted enough to be able to say that too.
True, very true. Not giving it away, will not expound. That's just a little Easter egg. We just threw that out. Just let that sit there.
There you go.
And it'll come back around tomorrow, and you'll go, oh, that's what they were talking about.
It was. Right.
Now, I think that you are on the verge of something that a lot of folks, you know, they may not see right away, but, you know, because we're focusing on the show and we're focusing on you as the lead and we're talking about your character, everybody loves, you know, a hero. People love the villain. But among the Black representation of characters out there, one of the rarest characters for us to play in comics, fantasy, sci-fi, whatever, is the anti-hero.
Yeah.
We don't see that. We don't. I can't really name two, right? Is this the direction? Are you looking at Painkiller becoming an anti-hero? Just, you know, somebody who's just constantly battling with,
right,
I could kill everybody here, or I could do something a little bit more, you know, constructive, you know.
And, you know, I think the thing is, you can't have, we get so used to saying Khalil, or not Khalil, but Painkiller, but we also have to have Khalil there, because both of them are synonymous, right? Oh, there he goes. He's back, brother.
My earpiece went out.
No problem. So I was just saying, like, you have Khalil and Painkiller that are synonymous with one another. And, you know, when we talk about the context of an anti-hero, you know, there's they're willing to bend and break rules versus you got Batman, you know, one of my favorite. He won't kill, you know. Part of that is in the groundwork of who his father is, which was Dr. Wayne. A lot of people forget that, but it's Dr. Wayne. And so you have a lot of the things that are grounding and that you can ping pong off of the back and forth between the two. To answer your question, yeah, I mean, he definitely is an anti-hero. And part of that has to do with, yes, Painkiller, who doesn't care. He'll off anybody in a heartbeat. It don't matter. And yet you have the other side, which is Khalil, who understands how certain people need to be offed and certain people need to be taken care of. But not everybody can, you know, be taken care of and just killed. You know what I mean? So you have that change within the two of them, and that's kind of the journey that the both of them are going on. But in the aspect or in the realm of an anti-hero, yeah, you're gonna have that. You're gonna have that battle between the two, which makes it fun, you know. Because I think personally, I think Khalil doesn't want to necessarily be like everything that he has seen from the streets, but at the same time, some people got to go.
Gotta go,
And
gotta
pain.
go. And that's
So
a perfect segue. That's a perfect segue into the action scenes where a lot of the
right,
offing is taking place.
right.
I'm going to ask this question in a way that it enters my mind. And does your stunt team get bored sitting on the sideline watching you do all of this flipping and jumping around that most
Well, I
actors would
don't
be
do the
like,
flip.
I'm
I don't do the flipping. I don't. That's
really
not. I'm not doing the flipping. Any of the special like. I mean, they'll let me do some wire work. They still won't let me go through any of the glass, which really it sucks because that looks fun. Or go through like walls or anything. But they let me do, you know, I mean, Nick Pelikai and Donnie Yehuda, those are my two stunt doubles. And then, I mean, the whole stunt team, like a lot of the stuff that you guys see, it would not be possible if it wasn't without them. You know,
Mhm.
Danny Boyer and David Conk. I mean, it's the whole stunt. It takes a whole village to get this whole thing done. You know, and that also expands to the crew, which is lighting. You know, camera, everybody. I mean, because it's fun. It's funny because Brian, the ACAM op on the show, like me and him, we'll be talking, or we'll be like, "Hey, look, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw it like this. What do you think about?" And we'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's fun. Let's try that." Or it'll be, you know, we just because we're just having a good time on set, and what you guys get to experience is our joy, you know. So I don't think anybody's really sitting on the sidelines upset. I mean, it might be me out once in a while because I want to do something like go through the glass. So we'll see. I mean, maybe this makes its way to WB and they just let me, or maybe not.
First scene, we're gonna let you go through the glass because that's what you wanted for Christmas.
Right, right. Let's not let it go bad though. Let's not let it go bad because I want
Right.
time.
So, we have seen you as you played Khalil. You were in good physical condition starting off. I mean, because you're playing an athlete, a high school student, and all this. I would think it's fair to say that you're probably in more peak physical condition now than maybe episode 2, season 1, where you've gone from a 6-pack to an 8-pack. You know, you're really getting into this
Man, that's all
believability
smoke
of
and
you
mirrors.
being a super
Talking
killer.
about, man, that's all smoke and mirrors. Yeah, baby oil and smoke and mirrors. What are you talking about?
CGI, huh?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, I grew up playing sports, you know, so I was always active. You know, by the grace of God, I still am healthy. I just stay working. It's one of my outlets. It's one of my places of where I get to just, you know, meditate and just chill. You know, so yeah, I just stay active, and then working with stunts, training with them. You know, we're stay training. You know, day in day out. So yeah, that's basically it's just life. It's just something. You know.
Mm-mm-mm. Well, listen, I was saying that early on, and when I talk about you to other people,
I think there's some folks that are at least somewhat surprised how much of a blurred you are. And just for the audience that may be a little confused because I don't say it enough and my shirt's not in the shot,
Ah,
blurred is short for black nerd. And we've kind of got our own little subculture that has grown out of the geek space.
man, I'm so
So
happy for it too, because that's the stuff I got made fun of back in elementary school. So
yeah,
man, these kids are taking it full advantage of it. You know, they don't know nothing about being picked on and thrown in lockers. Y'all want
no.
so big. I had to protect myself.
Well, yeah, you kind of had that protection of being an athlete. You kind of was
Right,
able
right.
to have a foot in both worlds. But as I have listened to you speak about, your fandom and the things that you love,
Mm,
uh, and it's just been amazing to me because as a blurred, there are a lot of folks, and let's be honest, with the emergence of geek culture being mainstreamed, with all the movies and TV shows, we have to accept that a lot of people who are playing these really iconic characters in the nerd space don't come in as with a history or any nerd
wait,
credentials
I'm sorry.
themselves, and they grow into it.
I ain't gotta accept that. Nuh-uh, I'm not accepting nothing. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Sometimes I just like to be. Yeah, we'll accept them. We'll accept them.
You got a little gatekeeping going on here, just a little, not high gate, just a
Right,
little.
right, right. Nah, they gotta earn my trust. They gotta earn my. I mean, Henry Cavill now. That's a geek. He's a nerd, so he good.
Yes, absolutely, yes. There are some that will surprise you, but I think you will be surprising a lot of folks because you have such a huge, appreciation of anime, right?
Oh, I do.
So this is my question, and this is the Jedi, connecting one of the
I
one
just,
walks in the bar can feel it.
by the way,
What is your favorite anime, and why is it Black Clover?
no, no, it's not Black Clover, but Black Clover is in the top five. No, top 10.
Okay,
Is in top 10. And I know I wore the Black Clover over at DC. So my brother, your brother. We gotta have another one. All right, King. No, I would say that definitely my favorite anime is Hunter x Hunter. And
whoa,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay,
So Hunter x Hunter is definitely one of my favorites. I mean, I give you that. I'd also give you Full Metal Alchemist, brother,
okay.
as well as Gurren Lagann, Black Clover as well. Attack on Titan definitely has to be in there. I mean, it definitely has to be in there. What else? Oh, Promise Neverland, even though it's ending, that's a good one. I'm about to nerd out. Y'all seriously about to see
This is the
all
place.
of
This
my
is the
glory.
go for it.
All of my glory.
Take
Uh,
all the rope, run
Mega
with it.
I mean, you got Megalobox, that's amazing. But how about this? How about this? I could go on listing a number of different anime. I mean, even My Hero Academia. Come on, you got to throw that in there. I would say though, and to everybody that is saying hi, hello. I'm so sorry. I'm saying hi to everyone. I see you guys. I'm so sorry. But yes, continuing on. I was gonna say, the reason why I love anime so much is because they take their time with the characterization, right? And I went to school and I studied writing as well, so I like to write, I like to read, and one of my favorite things that they do. I mean, I'm going through One Piece right now, and that's like that's a gang of episodes, but uh,
It's like 900 or something.
and
Crazy.
it's a couple thousand. It's 1,000. Oh yeah, I'm on like episode 8 something. That was my binge thing. So, one of the things though that I love about it is the characterization. They take their time with fleshing out these characters, building this world, and it's a whole world building. And while you're going on this journey, while you're going and you're learning about these characters, you're also learning about the world. You're also learning new elements, but they keep it grounded and realistic, especially the later seasons that you get into, unless it's Attack on Titan, because they just throw you right into the mix right there. But they take their time, they don't rush it, and they're able to get away with a lot more. It's not an anime, but a really good show that's out right now is Invincible. That's another animation as well. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
you got,
yeah.
but I mean, I have an affinity for the Japanese culture as well. So, I didn't say Naruto. So Naruto Shippuden. Um, Yeah, man. I can keep going on. I go on.
And kudos on the pronunciation. There's probably some brothers over in Japan, maybe two or three that's in there. They was like, oh, like they're
Oh.
not meant to be wearing pearls, but they clutched them. They're like, oh, did he just enunciate all the little subtle?
Oh. Somebody said, don't forget Avatar Last Airbender. Sure, you know what? I'll say Avatar Last Airbender. It's an animation from the Western world, but it does do a beautiful job of showing the Eastern Asian culture. So I mean, I would definitely say that I do love Avatar. I don't know if I call it an anime though, because if you're not watching anime in subtitles, then you're doing it wrong.
See, that's the thing. It's kind of like champagne. You
If
know,
I
it's like if it's not from Japan and in that very specific, style,
uh-huh.
we call it animation, and a lot of people make a very hard line differentiation
Oh
between the
yeah.
two,
Oh,
where
definitely.
some
See,
people might not know.
look at all of them coming through. Dragon Ball
Oh,
Z.
look, we hit a nerve, man.
Go
You
ahead, y'all.
listen,
Jujutsu Kaisen. How did I forget Jujutsu? Yeah, of course, Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay, Bells. Yes.
look,
Uh,
the blurred crowd going crazy. They're like, oh, we like anime.
yep. I love it. Right. I love it, man. You know, I'm. Oh my gosh, that's
Well,
amazing.
listen, I gotta say that what really stood out to me is when you said Hunter x Hunter, because one of the things anyone who's watched that anime will say is that the fight scenes are like on this other level,
Right.
and I think that when I'm watching your fight scenes,
Mm-hmm.
there's this. I mean, I don't know how hard it is when you're trying to be this hardcore killer to
Mm-hmm.
not smile, because I really get the sense that you're having a lot of fun
Mm-hmm.
being in those fight scenes,
Man.
and
Yeah.
the appreciation for that fight choreography and the
Right.
angles and the shots and stuff, I
Mm-hmm.
think is a byproduct, or one of the ways in which you enjoy deeper a lot of what you see in anime.
Well,
Is
you
that
know,
true? Do you
the
feel
thing
that?
about that, yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, my whole stunt team, they're absolutely amazing. We speak a common language. You know, they'll create the fight. They'll do what they want to do. They'll send me it. I'll study it as if it's video. We'll come in, we'll rehearse it, we'll run it, and then I'll also be like, let's make a moment out of this. Let's change the cadence up in this. So it's all creative aspect, but it's like you said, having an appreciation. And then we we all know different animes. I think we also pull from Naruto. They're phenomenal with their martial arts. Another one that was just on the tip of my tongue. It's there's another, the Fates, any of the Fate Zero, Fate Grand Order, Fate Apocrypha. It's their number. That's a great anime just because they pull from like heroes of legend, and you have different mages that come in and summon them, and it's really cool. So you're seeing like Alexander the Great, all the different history, because I'm a history buff too.
Mm,
But yeah, so it's really cool being able to see how we pull from different aspects, whether it's films, whether it's anime, whether it's animation, and and then we end up utilizing that and transforming that into what you see on screen.
mm,
So when I implement that, it's really a matter of, okay, me as Khalil or me as Painkiller. It's a differentiation between the two. I think that's just based off of the work, and showing a respect to each character, each individual, because I believe that both characters, they represent a different type of black man, young black man in the world, and so you want to do both. You want to give respect to both of them. But when it comes to the fighting, yeah, I mean, we're having fun. I'm always having fun doing that. But I would also say that it's also, you're in the character. You're in there. Safety is important first and foremost, always. But yeah, that's why both fighters, or both characters, have a different style of their fighting.
mm,
Uh, Khalil, you'll see him being more tactitional, more breaking down somebody. You see that in the episode with the Wing Chun that he uses, versus what Painkiller is. He might be more brawler, more Muay Thai, more aggressive, more on the attack.
mhm.
So yeah, so it's understanding, I guess, the ideology of both individuals, and then you seeing that in the way that they fight.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another tandem in here that kind of throws into my head, knowing again your contribution to the character, right? Being able to kind of make suggestions and sort of that collaborative effort that you have on the writing side. Uh, would you consider Painkiller, Khalil to be DC's first on-screen shonen character?
Ha! Ha, man. Well, as much as I would love to say yes, I would have to respectfully to Shonen say no. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, and I mean, you could argue based off of the different Shonen jumps that you see. I mean, whether it's DBZ, uh, My Hero. I mean, it's that hero's tale, and that all uh, it all kind of is intertwined with what you would also see with Odysseus or um, what's my man's name? Achilles, the different Greek heroes of the time. So, I mean, Homer in his Iliad and the Odyssey of Odysseus, you saw a number of different heroes. What's the other one? I mean, you also have, what's my man's name? Oh my gosh. What's my boy's name? The all of the fables, Aesop's fables. All of these different stories, all of these different parables, but it's the story and the journey that you see of the main character. But you see that growth. That's the real key, is the growth that you see within that character. So you could argue on behalf of, yes, Hercules as well. I see them helping me out. Thank you. But yeah, within Greek mythology, you have a number of the different heroes that rose and fell. I mean, you have the different tragedies that you see. So you could argue and say that, yeah, this is, a shonen. If you wanted to, I guess I just have such a respect and a reverence for for anime and for manga, that I'm just like, I'm not going to necessarily ruffle any curtails with that. I'm not going to ruffle anything with that.
It's
Uh,
the same differentiation that you made between anime and animation. You're like, I gotta.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, but at the same, in its own right, it is Khalil, and the Painkiller is his own hero's tale. And we've seen that. Those of you guys that have stuck with us from the beginning, going into from season one, and seeing this journey of this young kid and how he ended up being formed, and how he ended up being just influenced wrong, and his fall from grace, and then his rise. It's funny, you could even say, the whole coming back to life, that Lazarus pit. I mean, that's DC.
Yep.
But there's a lot, there's a lot of aspects from it. I mean, you see a number of different heroes. I mean, I'm going to do it, so I mean, might as well, number of different heroes in the Bible, back. You know what I'm saying, man? Because that's where I pull all of my stuff from, big dog. I had to.
I
But
just got to say, the psychic connection that I think we have as blurs is kicking in, because my next question to you, and I'm not joking here, was, as a man of faith, do
uh,
you see biblical parallels in your portrayal of Khalil, stricken down, corrupted by
oh,
evil, reborn in search of redemption, all of
absolutely.
those sorts of,
My
and I'm just like,
loves saying that too. Moms would be like, son, I'm just I'm really happy that you're doing this, because it's God's using it. I was like, I know he is, mama. I know he is. You absolutely right. You absolutely right. You ain't gonna hear nothing out of me. You right. You for sure. But yes, man. My faith is extremely important to me. My relationship, and I think the reason why what we present to you is because you, the audience, is because first and foremost, I want to present it unto the Lord as a sacrifice, which is in my conduct, my attitude with my cast, my crew, and all of that. So, that's first and foremost always going to be. But when looking at different characters and different individuals in the Bible, I mean, I'm going through Joshua and Judges right now, and you're looking at the different individuals that were used and raised in order to help the children of Israel get all the way from, you know, Egypt into Israel, which is now, and you see those that made mistakes. You see those that chose to defy God. You saw those that went against the grain. And in that, you saw the consequences that came of that. We saw the consequences for Khalil when he was, there's always going to be consequences. Always going to be consequences. Now, the question is, what do you do after that? What is your choice after that? My grandfather, he told me before he passed, he said, don't let your past paralyze your future, you know? And so for me, I think of that with Khalil and Painkiller in the sense that Khalil, he has to get over the murder of his mother by his own hands, you know? And when you liken that to different examples in the Word, I mean, the Bible, yo, this book is rated MA if you read it. It's not a easy, beautiful thing. It's MA. But the essence of what it is redemption and forgiveness. And
Mhm.
that's kind of the journey that Khalil is going through with not just forgiving Painkiller, but also having to find it to forgive himself.
Mm.
So, and the synonymous thing that I've seen with Painkiller and with the Word is there's a level of grace. But in that grace, in order to get to that level of grace that you show yourself, the grace that you show others, you have to be able to look in the mirror or look at yourself and realize not only your successes, but also your faults. And not just shy away from them, but allow those things to be, you know, those things that will help correct and realign you onto the path that you need to be on path with, you know,
Mm.
whatever, just even if it's just being a good person, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I think, that, you know, has been one of those threads that I've continued to see throughout the writing with Salim, throughout, you know, the episodes. And yeah, so I mean, like, that's, I'm excited just for y'all to see it. So.
Oh, well, look, I'm telling you that I think that everybody out there knows. I'm going to take a little station break here in case you missed the first part of this. This is Jordan Calloway down here. Okay, this brother is playing a villain slash redemptive hero by the name of Khalil Payne slash Painkiller. Right,
Yes,
and I got to tell you the in series pilot. I think that's what we will call it. Is this Monday? This is tomorrow in the show and the series Black Lightning, and this whole episode is going to be based on Painkiller and introducing and updating and kind of putting him forward in his
mm,
own world in his own words and in
yeah.
introducing his new struggle and his new missions and all of that sort of stuff. So you do not want to miss this episode because you are going to see a lot more of this man on the screen doing all of the stuff that we're talking about, giving it in context. You do not want to miss it because, like I said, it's amazing. We talk about world building. This is something that I think that the nerd audience will understand probably more so than any other
Mm,
because we are so into introduce me not just to the characters and not just I want to see what the streets look like and I want to
yeah.
see what the cars look.
What
I even
topography
noticed.
of yeah, the topography of the whole world. I mean, like anybody that's built a world, anybody that's like created or done. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, and I'm so excited to be able to share that, you know, because I didn't even think about it like that. Like, man, the more that I learn about Akashic Valley, I'm beyond excited to share that with you guys too as well. And I mean, I mean, you saw it. You already saw it. So you know what Akashic Valley looks like. And I haven't seen it yet. So I'm
Oh,
excited.
yeah,
I
really.
know, right? I done all the damn work and I ain't even seen the thing. Like, it's a man.
I want to talk to Michelle. You're like, yeah, he
Right,
let this
right, right.
brother see.
No, they smart. They probably know that I would have showed everybody. I would be like, hey, y'all, come look at this. It's not supposed to be out. It's not supposed, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they smart. WB smart.
well, look, it's like it's very deliberate and it's very well done, and it puts the character into a space and a context, even when the character's not doing anything. This
Yeah.
futuristic city, right? and it's kind of like if you're looking at Blade Runner, you know, kind of like lots of lights, lots of neon.
Mhm.
But what kind of car do you drive?
Oh, you like that Ford? You like that Mustang, don't you?
Dude, I was like, wait a minute, like
Yeah.
this looked like 2050,
All that.
and
Yeah.
we rolled in 1950. Like, what is that telling us?
Classy. We keep it classy, baby. Don't get it trippy. Pure muscle.
Oh man. Oh man, I got to tell you, I'm really excited about that. So remember, guys, tomorrow you've got to watch this show. It is in, you know, your favorite series and mine, Black Lightning.
Do we
This
have
is
any
the,
questions? Are there any other questions that any of the fans might want? Did you want any of
you
that?
know, we got some, but you know, look, I don't want my phone to mess up nothing. So, you know, let me get what's
Let's
our
get a few
time here?
quick ones. Let's get a few quick ones.
Let's get a quick one in here. All right.
Oh, what time? 9/8 Central.
hmm
I saw some people were asking that. 9/8 Central tomorrow, you guys.
All right. Let me see if we can pick one out of here that's not going to force you to spoil nothing or disappoint nobody. Uh, okay, here's a good one. Pretty Mom Z asks, do you feel that Khalil Painkiller can be a symbolic character for what a black man has to deal with in society?
I think absolutely. I think yeah, without a question. She said Khalil or Painkiller
She put
or both.
both. Well, hyphen. Mm-hmm.
I told you this before, that both I feel represent uh, two different aspects of what it is to be a person of color as a man as well, in society. So I definitely wanted, because when I got into doing the character breakdown for Painkiller and for Khalil, it's easy for people to look at Khalil as like, oh, he's the light, and Painkiller, he's the dark. But we got to keep in mind, Painkiller, he comes from trauma. And when you don't understand trauma, or when you don't understand somebody else's trauma, it's easy to put a label on somebody, and it's easy to identify them as a certain type versus trying to understand, instead of just taking that time and learning and listening and hearing. If you've worked with at-risk kids, or if you work with any kids, you know they're in a growth stage. The brain doesn't fully develop until, I believe, 25 or 28, I think. And that is just the physical science that you see, where we're all still growing, we're all still maturing. So dealing with Painkiller, and with Khalil, they're both still at a young state. At this point, Khalil, he would be senior, or not a senior, he would be a freshman or sophomore in college. And so he's a young man. He's out on his own. He's living, he's doing his own things. He's growing. He's still figuring himself out. But now he no longer has the pillars within his life that helped him get to where he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, I want that to be, that is probably at the forefront of my mind when displaying these different characters, as well as for Salim and for Charles, who are the head writers. So yeah.
Mm. I just saw a really interesting question from Helen Hells that I think you're going to find interesting because this is something we didn't get a chance to talk about. I'm looking forward to having the discussion. What comic books are you reading right now?
Dang, man, what comic books am I reading? I stay ready. I straight strap, son. Come on now. Come on now. Actually, the our props guy, he got me this for a rap gift, and so it's The Deceased by Tom Taylor, and I'm really looking forward to getting into it because I am a Red Hood fan. I'm a Jason Todd fan. So before that, it was The Outsiders, but now it is going to be this bad boy, The Deceased. So that's what I'm into right now.
Oh man, and that's something that I heard about you as well. That Jason Todd was your favorite character.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I'm a big Batman fan, right? So Batman, he was the one that I see him back there. I see it. By the way, how about that Justice League, Zack Snyder, right? Man,
Mm.
boys that are Marvel fans, oh my gosh, that y'all gave me life to finally be able to see this. This is what we meant to do. This is what we wanted to do.
Oh man,
I'll go,
bring us the
I'll go on.
Snyderverse.
Listen, let me say this. I'll go on, my management, my agents, they might not like this, but I'll go on file to say this. I think there might have been some, secret under the table money being slipped over to Joss Whedon to just mess that movie up. I'm just saying, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Oh
Wait,
well.
whoa. So you're saying Kevin Feige, the
Right,
CEO of
right.
Disney,
Ah,
drove over to Joss Whedon's house, was like,
that's
all right,
exactly what
listen,
happened. That's
I got
exactly what happened.
$45. That's
Damn.
cash money. You,
Yes, so that's where I'm coming from. But that's just me. What was the question?
doesn't matter because you answered it and you brought it to the next question. I think everybody really wants to have a little bit of a take on from you, and that is the Zack Snyder cut. I mean, what were your thoughts on that? I mean,
Oh, I
I
was
was taken aback.
redeemed. Like, thank you. That is absolutely beautiful. I think, Margot Robbie, she said in an interview, no, I'm not going to say her quote because that might get the show canceled. So we'll wait. But, I'm a huge fan of the DC, of Zack Snyder's cut. I actually went to school with his kids too, to high school with his kids. Yeah. So they were great. They're good kids. But, little side note.
Yeah, I think it kind of dovetails with the best of DC. I
Right.
always felt like DC was strongest when it allowed for the dark storytelling to unfold. And if
Well,
you look at some of the
right.
biggest and best titles like Batman,
Mm-hmm.
like Constantine,
Mm-hmm.
Swamp Thing,
Ooh,
it
something.
all. I mean, it's like every time I would read DC comics and be scared,
Right, right.
because
Well,
it was like
come
these
on.
like real
To
death
your
and
to your
destruction of
point.
world ending.
Uh, I'm sorry. Official Joseph Lee Anderson. No, I don't watch Young Rock. I have no idea what that show is. And I'm sure the guy that plays Rocky Johnson is not good. Anyway, back to the question. So I would probably also say that, the thing about the whole Zack Snyder cut that's great about it is, yeah, it's 4 hours. It could have been, broken up. Obviously, it could have been broken up. But I think one of the great things about it, though, is we finally got to see everybody's storyline. So it's like stuff what didn't feel choppy and it made sense. It made a lot of sense.
Exactly. It gave even the villains, got a more backstory. They had more investment. I kind of understood where they were coming from. I don't want to say we humanized certain
Yeah.
ones, but it just all came together in a way that I just was just wrapped. And I
And
love to see
I love seeing
DC
I love seeing
doing what it
Alfred,
does.
and Bruce Wayne relationship. I love seeing that. Jeremy Irons killed that. He was amazing. And the scene between him and Diana, oh my gosh, it was great. It was perfect. Ray Fisher, he had a storyline. I mean, come on now. It was, and who's not gonna love Barry Allen seeing Iris Rest for the first time? I mean,
Right. Hmm.
it
Well,
well done.
I gotta say that when we're talking about the appreciation of great actors, it is very rare for someone, coming up to get the opportunity to share a screen with a legend like Bill Duke.
Oh
And
man,
I'm a huge Bill Duke fan from Car Wash.
right,
Okay.
right.
I watch anything with Bill Duke in it. He's good in bad movies. I mean, that's the kind of actor he is. Like that movie sucked, but I like watching Bill Duke in it, right? And to have the opportunity to see him, doing, you know, what he does best. And
Right.
I'm just like, you're sharing scenes with it. Tell us about your experience with Bill Duke. Who is he? What is it? How's it? You
Funny
know,
enough, it's so funny. Like Bill, he's great. Quick story: there was season 3 when I was doing the workout scene when he gives me the mission to go hit the Markovian house. Brian, the camera, A cam, his jig was making a little bit of noise, but Bill, he's so in the game that he was just like, "Can we cut? Because it was on my coverage. Can we cut? Why don't you go and fix it?" And he was respectful, totally respectful about the whole thing. But he was just like, yeah, man, this is your moment. This is going to live forever. But what he taught me that was you can say what you need to say, but it's how you say it. It's how we communicate with people. But I love that. That's something that always stuck with me. But for Bill, my dad, he's a cinematographer, and I grew up on set. Like my first project was stand-in on Robert Townsend's Parenthood, and then also extra work. I did extra. Yeah, my parents were like, "Oh, you want to be an actor? Okay, you're gonna go through all the process. You going go through it all. But it gave me an appreciation for everybody that's on the that is a part of the family to get the project done, right? So he worked with Bill Duke, and you know, back in those days, they all played cards though during the break. Oz Scott, who is one of our directors as well, you know, they all played card games, and that game being Bid Whist. And and my dad, he sent good old Duke to Boston. And he straight flush took that man over. And so my dad, when he found out that Bill was on the show, he told me to go up and remind him. I went up. He's like, "Ain't nobody ever sent me to Boston." Like,
Oh Lord.
Bill is one of the greatest people that you'll ever come across. I mean, he's all about pouring into the youth, into the next trailblazers, into the next ones that are supposed to set the way as well, you know. And so that's again just taking on that mantle, taking on that responsibility as well, and being around legends such as Bill Duke, the late Gregory Hines, Oz Scott, Robert Townsend. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's just one of, I mean, Robert Guillaume as well. I mean, you just come across like you appreciate it, you really do, and then you take those nuggets that they gave you, you know.
So with all of your fandom and all of your experience and exposure, tell me about this that I'm hearing, that you are writing and producing your own comic book.
Oh my God, who told you that? I mean, yes, but I'm keeping that on the wraps. Damn.
Oh, did I look? Is that a look? I didn't spoil the show, but I
Oh my
spoiled
God.
you. My bad. Oh snap.
Oh man, yes. I am. I've been working on that actually. Something I came up with back in college, and then one of my dear friends, he's also helping me write on that. I put that on. Oh my God, you put me out there like that. Damn. That has taken you know, a little break. Just had to, just with my mind goes where I'm just always writing. I'm writing something. I'm always creating. But yes, that is one of my babies that I have thoroughly enjoyed creating a world. I mean, yeah, that's one of those, like, that's my Game of Thrones, put it like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but when the time comes, you know, you'll definitely know about that.
Okay. All right. It's just one of those ongoing things. I
Oh, it's
love
one.
the idea that a true fan is building, you know, and telling stories and interested in that process,
Oh
because
yeah.
that makes some of the best work. You know, the people who
My
are fans
problem
of the genre.
is pulling the trigger. My problem is pulling the trigger. All of this stuff is there. All of the scripts are done. All of the books are finished. It's just I keep building a part of that world. Yeah.
Hey, look, when it's right and it's time, then you do it. Because
Hey,
trust
yeah.
me,
You know,
pulling the trigger is not
that's
your
what it is.
problem. You,
That's exactly what it is. And you know, I mean,
Mhm.
part of that is just, you know, idle time is the devil's playground. So I try to stay busy as I can.
I heard that. I heard that. Now, just a quick break for everybody who just came in, who maybe missed the first part of the show. I'm Hilton George. I am your con chair for BlurredCon, the Black Nerd Convention. We have been given an opportunity, this amazing opportunity, to talk to the Jordan Calloway, this man down here, the Painkiller. You know,
Yeah.
if you're watching CW, if you're watching, you know, Black Lightning, you know who this brother is and you know what he's capable of, both as an actor and his character. He is a true nerd, and he is, you know, just somebody that understands the full depth of everything that he is doing on screen that you see, and it shows. And we're
Uh,
lucky to have him here. It's been a pleasure to have you here.
that's what
And
I'm
I know there's a lot of people who, you know, there's lots and lots of questions that we'll never get to, but you know, if you could tell people how to reach you, you know, where do you see your questions? Where do you actually check messages and all this sort of stuff? Like, where
saying.
can they find you?
Honestly, I'm terrible with social media because I'm constantly always trying to do something. But I mean, I'm probably most active on my Instagram, and then I do have my Twitter that I'm on as well. But I mean, it's basically gonna be those two. But you can always check me on CW's Black Lightning, and I'm not gonna do that plug. I'm not gonna do that. I've been doing this all week.
Well, look, that's my job. I'll do the plug.
Right.
You go to Black Lightning, you go to the CW site, you'll see this brother's full bio, everything you need to know about him.
Uh,
Also, the show is tomorrow. This is the in-series pilot
yeah.
for Painkiller.
And
And,
let's also say, because Painkiller would not be here if it wasn't for Black Lightning. This is the final season
oh,
of Black
yeah,
Lightning.
this
And
is the final season.
to everybody affiliated with it, Cress Williams, Christine, James, Marvin, China, Nafisa, Chantal. I mean, the list goes on. Will, all of them. I just, tune in. We got a great final season, second half of the final season for you guys, and you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna love it, and we're gonna do you justice.
This is the truth. This is a family you're watching. I've met most of them, and you're actually the only person associated with the show that I haven't actually met until right
Oh,
now.
until
And
now.
so, yeah, because look, the first premiere, it was like the core cast and everything, but it's a family,
Yeah,
and you guys are connected in ways that really show up on the screen and how you guys work. If you're not watching the show, you're missing out. Some amazing performances, amazing action. If you love comics, if you love drama, if you like topical stories being told that you can relate to what's happening out in our world right now, you're not going to get any better than Black Lightning.
yeah.
And listen, I got to tell you, man, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I knew when I was talking about, it, I was like, man, he's a blurred, and we're gonna blur it out a little
Oh,
bit.
absolutely.
Uh,
Time to do this too.
Hey, look, when we come out of COVID, we got to get you up to BlurredCon. I'm gonna send you an Uber or, or whatever
Don't
it
worry.
takes. You're in Atlanta
Don't
right
worry.
now?
Yeah, I'll drive. Don't worry. I'll drive my hoopty over there. Shoot, come on now.
Yeah, bring that Mustang. Let me take around the block
Oh,
once, two, three
that's on
times.
set. That's on set. I ain't got access to that one, bro. You trying to get me fired? Nuh-uh.
Oh Lord, I'll talk to somebody. I'll see what I could do. I'll see what I could do.
Oh, brother. Well, thank
Listen, guys, thank you. Thank you. This has been Jordan Calloway. He has been a great guest.
you.
Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow at 9 on the CW. This is going to be the show with so much action and so much going on. You're just not going to be believing it.
Right.
So thank you very much for coming out, sir. Very great conversation.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Have a good one, and God
You
bless.
do the same. That was great, y'all. Thanks. Big shout out to the CW, my homegirl Lachelle, who is the big sister to the whole crew. It's an amazing, amazing group of people, and Jordan fits right in with them. He's a great guy. I hope you guys all watch the show. This is a pilot, and so they're putting everything in it, and it's going to be dope. I'm telling you, want to see it, and I hope everybody out there is being safe. COVID is still out there. I hope you guys are keeping your masks on and all this stuff. You're lucky getting vaccinated and all that. And then maybe you guys will be ready to come out to BlurredCon this summer, July 16th, the weekend of July 16th here in Washington, D.C. The Black Nerd Convention is going to be happening. Follow our social media, follow our site, get your badges, because this is going to be the first con on your calendar. I could not be more thrilled at the prospect of talking with the people associated with CW. Maybe get Jordan to come out. Once everything clears up, we make some things happen. You guys get to meet him in person. I don't know. Maybe we'll make it happen. In the meantime, enjoy your Sunday. Watch the show Monday, and we'll be with you. Have a good one.